Hey everyone, Robyn Openshaw here. Welcome to Robyn Openshaw Bitcoin. I used to study all the altcoins, you guys, but when you put 1,000 hours in, all the altcoins fall away and you realize that some person or company is at the top of these and they're really just startup companies, and most people call them shit coins. The people who've done the research. But I want to come in and just briefly tell you that I have gone and come back from the big event Bitcoin 2025 in Las Vegas. I have been asked, are you glad you went? I would have to say not really. It was awe-inspiring. There were like 30,000 people there. I was a little surprised that right after JD Vance's talk, which I did not get into, one of the reasons I wasn't super happy with that conference is that there's 6,000 seats and they didn't tell us that, and there were 30,000 people who bought tickets. So I did not get to, I wasn't in there for Vivek Ramaswamy or for JD Vance. Stood in line with a giant herd of people for like 20 minutes and then we didn't get in. So anyway, it was, if I had to tell you what the takeaways were, I was pretty intrigued by Jack Mallers saying that is a personal goal of his, that he'll be lending in dollars that are single digit against Bitcoin, both at Strike. He was mostly talking about Strike. He wasn't really talking about 21, which is his joint venture, or he's the new hired CEO of the joint venture of SoftBank in Japan and Tether, biggest stablecoin issuer, and Cantor Fitzgerald, which our Commerce Secretary in the US is CEO of. So Jack Mallers claims that he's going to be able to lend at 9 or 9.5%. I don't know. He's really young. He's like 31, but he looks 13. That's what he wants to do. We'll see if he actually pulls it off. Nobody else is lending in dollars against Bitcoin for less than 12%. Hope he does it though. That would be really cool. So that was one highlight. I was able to get into his talk. And basically my takeaway is there are so many shiny objects in the Bitcoin world. Be really careful because there's a ton of them that are really just, if we're being honest, they're startup companies. And they're talking about how you can keep control of, I mean, this is something that I'm interested in enough to want to learn more about, but I don't think I'll probably be doing it. Sorry about that weird light back there. It will cover up the picture of my children, which you can't really see anyways, to cover up that light. Is that there's a ton of companies starting up on the Bitcoin on top of the Bitcoin layer, and they're all startups. So nothing wrong with them per se, but most companies do go under within 5 years, and it is going to be a sketchy economy. So just be really careful anything that you attach your Bitcoin to, because there's all kinds of ways of trying to game Bitcoin, including in ways that they will pitch you on that sound like they're in your favor. Like for instance, this is the thing that I'm telling you, I want to learn more about it. But basically that I can keep control over the keys to my Bitcoin, but stake them. Now, would I go to all that trouble technically? Probably not anyway, but this is the kind of thing that I was hearing about at the conference, and that I think there's going to be a lot of different optionality like that going on. There's so much buzz, obviously, about MicroStrategy, now called Strategy, Michael Saylor's company. I love Michael Saylor. I loved the talk he gave at his own conference in Orlando a couple of weeks before. I wouldn't say that his 21 ways to make money with Bitcoin or 21 reasons to be in Bitcoin, I would not say his talk at the 2025 conference was very good. And I usually absolutely love everything that Michael Saylor has to say, but that was probably my least favorite of his talks. So be careful. The thing to do is have your own keys, have those secured. Maybe have multi-sig, but you have 2 of the 3 so that you can always access your Bitcoin if you are going to institutionally custody it. But have it yourself and don't get greedy so that you're doing weird things with your Bitcoin to earn even more on top of it. Remember, it's grown by like an average of 50 to 60% a year in its 16-year history. So my caution to you is watch these companies carefully that are starting up. lots of interesting things happening. I think bit bonds is one of the most interesting things that's happening because the US bond market is looking really sketchy. And if they can share the gains on Bitcoin with people coming in with US bonds and pay out only 1%, but share the gains of the increase in Bitcoin, that would be a really cool concept. And I think it would onboard the American people really quickly. Even if it's just that they think they're buying bonds and they didn't understand Bitcoin at all, it will get so much more interest going on in Bitcoin. So it was definitely like a shiny objects bonanza the whole few days. It was huge. I'm told that next year they are thinking about getting a football stadium. I don't really see how that works because then you're just hearing the same talk. But they definitely did not accommodate the 30,000 tickets they sold. People didn't get in to see the headliners. So anyway, I teach every Wednesday night. I have other teachers who teach with me. We had Jeff Booth last week. It was remarkable. Incredible. He's called the Bitcoin Monk. He taught with me while I was in Vegas. I went up to my hotel room and taught class last Wednesday night. But anyways, the link is down below. It's sort of a personalized touch, small group. You know, we never have more than 30 people. And we take your questions and we make sure that you understand these concepts. We want you to understand what you own when you buy Bitcoin. Love it when people just buy $500 worth of Bitcoin or $5,000 worth or whatever, because then that gets you actually researching. And then people tend to buy more once they understand what they hold. But we need you to understand what your Bitcoin is, or else you're just going to see it go up 50% and then you're going to sell it. And then guess what? You don't have freedom money. You don't have freedom from the banks. Yeah, you made something, but you have to pay capital gains on it and you're back in fiat dollars, which was kind of the main point. That's a bigger point than number go up. So join us down below, get a free month joining my mastermind, and get another $50 off using the coupon code Robyn, ROBYN, all caps. And I will see you on Wednesday nights. See you next time.